Yo, 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 what up, what up? It's your boy Chief Exec TV. About to hit you with another one. I got a question though. Was Jimmy Henchman the most dangerous dude, the most dangerous nigga in New York City? I don't know. We about to find out though. But first, I need y'all to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Just leave some comments. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. If there's anybody from Brooklyn that knows about him, you know what I'm saying? Give me some feedback. Let me know how he really was out there in those streets. But here we go. You know what I'm saying? We about to go check this story out. Shout out to New York. Let's get it popping.
The streets have always had ties to the rap game, but Jimmy Henchman is one of the scariest dudes to ever be involved with the industry. He allegedly almost killed Tupac and 50 Cent, and right now, he's serving 2 life sentences for murder and trafficking. Today, we're breaking down the wild and brutal story of why people in the rap game are still terrified of him. Let's get right in.
Oh yeah, this about to be a good one. I gotta get my popcorn and butter and everything ready. This about to be a good one. Tupac to 50 Cent. Oh yeah. Like I said, we about to get into this one. This about to be a good one.
Jimmy Henchman was born in Harlem but raised in Flatbush, Brooklyn. As a young kid in the streets, he ran with the crew called the Untouchables, and Jimmy wanted to make a name for himself in the trenches. He already had 2 gun charges by the time he was 16, and he ended up dropping out of school and spending a year on Rikers Island. And after being home for less than a year, he was booked for another shooting. Henchman made bail on the gun charge, but ended up catching a homicide case just a few months later. He pleaded guilty to the gun charge and got the murder case dismissed, but he still got hit with a 5 to 10 year sentence. When he was in prison, Jimmy linked up with a Black Panther leader named Richard Moore, who convinced him to go back to school and educate himself. So by the time Henchman was released in 1988, he had an associate's degree and was ready to take on the streets in a smarter way. Henchman spent 3 years hustling in the crack game. Then, one of his homies introduced him to the music industry. Around the same time, Tupac was becoming one of the hottest rappers in the world. He wasn't a superstar yet, but everyone knew that's where he was headed. And Henchman wanted to become his manager. Pac turned him.
Yeah, I want to say rest in peace, Tupac. One of the greatest that ever done it, that ever picked up a mic. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to his mother. Man, yeah, I can see already this story about to go down.
Down, and what Henchman did next changed the history of the entire rap game. One of Henchman's homies is a known dealer named Haitian Jack. According to rumors, Biggie warned Pac not to get involved with Jack, but Pac didn't listen. Everyone knows that Biggie and Pac ended up starting the biggest war in rap history, but back in the day, they were actually tight. But after Haitian Jack and Jimmy Henchman got involved, everything changed. Pac met Henchman through Haitian Jack, even though Pac didn't want to be managed.
Hey, shout out to Haitian Jack. Hey, they say he was another heavy hitter out there in them streets in New York too. Brooklyn, what up?
By him, Henchman allegedly offered him $7K to hop on a track with his artist Lil Sean. Pac was fighting a sexual abuse case at the time and needed the cash, so he headed to Quad Studios in Times Square with his homie Stretch and a couple of other dudes. Puffy and Biggie were up in the studio too, but Pac didn't get the chance to link up. When he walked into the lobby, 3 dudes jumped out to rob and shoot him. After the Quad Studio shooting, Tupac accused Puffy, Biggie, Henchman, and others of being involved with setting him up. That night sparked the beef between him and Biggie, which eventually led to the war between the East and West Coast and ended with both of them being killed.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Pac aired Henchman out on the track Against All Odds and said, "Promise to pay back Jimmy Henchman in due time. I know you is listening, the world is mine. Set me up, wet me up, stuck me up. Heard the guns bust, but your tricks never shut me up." Henchman always denied being involved, but in 2011, his homie Dexter Isaac claimed that Jimmy paid him to rob Tupac. Isaac had known Henchman since they were teenagers, and right now, he's serving a life sentence for other crimes. According to him,
Damn.
Henchman gave him $2,500 to rob Tupac and let him keep all the jewelry they snatched except one ring, which Henchman wanted to keep for himself. He also said that Stretch helped them and that Henchman gave Stretch a quarter brick of cocaine to line his homie up. Stretch ended up getting murdered a year later, and Pac sent shots at him on a gas with the line, "And that nigga that was down for me rested dead. Switched sides, guess his new friends wanted him dead." Henchman still denied everything after Isaac told his side of the story, but then he allegedly admitted to being involved while he was confessing in an unrelated drug case. Jimmy was never charged with the Quad Studio shooting, but later he ended up in the middle of an even crazier beat. When Henchman went to war against 50 Cent and G-Unit, there were shootings, assaults, and a brutal murder that led to him getting his second life sentence. In the early 2000s, Henchman was managing the Game. Game had been signed by Dr. Dre, who linked up with 50 Cent, and back then, it looked like going to take over the whole game together. Both of them were at the height of their careers, and the collab seemed for everything to fall apart. According to Henchman, 50 was mad that the Game was popping off so much as a solo artist, and when Game went hopping to all these beef for other rappers, 50 cut him out of G-Unit and sparked their legendary beef. Most rap fans know all about how the Game and 50 ended up getting into a shootout in New York. But there was something even crazier going on at the same time that a lot of people have no clue about. In 2007, 50's homie Tony Yayo and another rapper named Lodi Mack ran into Jimmy Henchman's 14-year-old son, Lil Henchman, on the street. According to rumors, Lil Henchman was wearing a G-Unit shirt, so Lodi and Yayo pressed him over it. They pushed him up against the wall, and Yayo allegedly started slapping him. Then Lodi
Really though. That's why that man went crazy. Hey, y'all slapping that man's son. Young, and then he young at that too. Yeah, Tony, yeah, y'all niggas tripping.
Mack took it a step further and pistol whipped the kid. Yayo and Lodi were both on assault charges, but Yayo's case was eventually dismissed. But before he even went to court, Yayo's mother's house was shot up, and pretty much everyone believes Henchman was behind it. Yayo talks about it on the track Straight Outta Southside and said, "Yeah, y'all motherfuckers shot my mama crib up, my sister, my niece in there. I'm getting y'all hit for $500. I'm gonna be in London, motherfucker." Lodi Mack pleaded guilty to aggravated assault over the Lil Henchman case and was sentenced in prison. But while he was behind bars, the beef in the streets was just heating up. The same year that Yayo and Lodi Mack put hands on his kid, Jimmy Henchman tried to take 50 and Yayo out while they were filming a music video. 50 was filming the video for his collab track with Akon, I'll Still Kill, when Henchman and his goons rolled up with silenced guns. But before they could hop out and start shooting, one of the guns went off in the whip, and they ended up just leaving the scene.
It was the filming of the 50 Cent and Akon I'll Still Kill video.
Oh. On the paperwork, Henchman and them were supposed to come, and I guess they gun jammed, but we had God on that side, and they backed out on the hit, but we had straps too, and that really was really it.
You said they had silencers?
Yeah.
And this was part of the part that came out.
Yeah.
If Henchman's people started letting off shots, it would have turned into a full-on shootout because everyone in the G-Unit crew was strapped too. But luckily, nobody died that day because someone with Henchman didn't know how to handle their gun. There's also rumors that Henchman had 50's house burned down. There's no evidence to back it up. But what we do know is that when Lodi Mack was released in 2009,
Shout out to Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent. Hey, they said that nigga. They said he was a real nigga out there in them streets though. He's certified. Nigga don't back down for shit.
he was murdered in the middle of the street just 2 weeks later. Everyone connected Henchman to the murder immediately, but it took years before he was officially charged. While the cops were working on the Lodi Mack case, Henchman ended up going down on a totally different charge. In 2010, he was booked on cocaine trafficking, money laundering, and witness tampering. According to the prosecution, Henchman was running a massive drug ring that operated from the east to west coast and was bringing him in over $11 million per year. Henchman and his crew would ship drugs from LA to New York, then ship cash back to LA from New York after it was sold. They didn't have to use their own vehicles to move weight either. Instead, they covered everything in mustard to throw off drug dogs and shipped it through FedEx and UPS. Jimmy was handed down a life sentence, and the judge, his crimes were astonishing in their breadth, duration, and intensity. While he was locked up on the drug charges, Henchman was charged for the death of Lodi Mack in 2012. His own shooters flipped on him, and there were over 35 witnesses in the trial. And in 2014, he was found guilty and got hit with another life sentence. Part of the reason why Henchman went down is because his own people turned on him. But according to rumors, he was an informant too and helped the feds put other dealers behind bars. Henchman and his lawyer called cap on the story, but 50 Cent says the same thing. Most rap fans know that a drug dealer in Queens, known as Kenneth Supreme McGriff, is the dude who allegedly had 50 shot 9 times back in the day. McGriff is also serving a life sentence on a murder for hire case right now, and obviously, him and 50 aren't friends. But even though Supreme tried to have him killed, 50 gives him more credit than Henchman, because according to him, Supreme stayed down with the streets and never snitched.
I don't like Supreme.
Shout out to Supreme and the Supreme team. Hey, that's another story I'm gonna have to get on. We're gonna have to get into later.
I don't like Prim in him, but he lived the way he actually projected himself. His lifestyle is consistent.
He was true to it.
He never ratted on nobody.
But Henchman told on everyone.
And Jimmy's a different kind of guy. He told on everybody. He solved the last 10 years of criminal activity in New York City in 10 minutes.
Henchman has been behind bars for over a decade, but some people are afraid that he might not be there for long. According to reports, Donald Trump planned on cutting Henchman's sentence short before he left office and said, let's get this guy home for Christmas. The official pardon never came, but now Henchman's lawyer says his sentence no longer exists because of what Trump allegedly said. It's been 2 years since they started fighting to get him out, but as of right now, it doesn't look like there's been any movement in the case. Henchman might end up spending his life in prison, but if he gets lucky and is granted an early release, anybody who crossed him will need to watch their backs.
Have you heard of life insurance with living benefits? This type of life insurance policy pays out tax-free cash